Okay, so these ones for our material. So in that is going to be the material. So I'm going to look at a material and I'm going to say a fiberglass. Okay, that's one of our material. I'm just going to now put wood. You can choose your own material. This is just for demonstration purposes. And I'm going to put plastic, and that's just for my, okay, so you need to research these different types of materials and place your information within the alert buttons with functions here. So the function names I'll give to fiberglass will just be as the name it says, okay, but I'll just call it fiber info, just makes it easier, shorthand. And then what I'll do for this one, the same thing, just say wood info, same thing, plastic info. So what should happen now is that we should have 6 buttons. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so remember, once you've created these as well, you will need to also create the function. So I'll just do one for you and then you'll do that for yourselves. So I'm just going to really copy and paste this one. I'm just going to copy and then paste it here. Okay, so the function name we've given for one of our materials is called fiber info. So we click here. I'm just going to copy it, makes it easier so I don't have any errors. Control V. So that's called fiber info, and I'm just going to put in here fiberglass information. So that's not for me to fill out, that's what you will fill out for yourself. So fiber glass info. Okay, it goes there, and you need to create all the functions for all your buttons. So as we said, we have 6 buttons and we need to have 6 functions. So as you see what we've just added here, we've added a button for our material fiberglass, a button for a material wood or plastic. It's up to you to do what you would like to do for yourself. So what I'm going to do now is save it. So once again, I'll just do file, save, and then what we'll do, go and locate it, and then double click on it or right click, open with, and I'm going to change Microsoft Edge. Okay, so you see I've got my 6 buttons: levers and linkage, cam mechanism, pulley and gears, the different materials. So fiberglass, so if I click on it, it will just click fiber information. There's nothing really that goes on there. Okay, so you should have that for yourselves. Okay, so what we'll do now is look at how we can probably display these informations a bit better. We can now open up our mechanisms and materials web page. So we right click, open with Notepad. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add some color. So at the moment we've set our width. So if you change your width now probably to 160 to 160 width, and the height to 160 pixels as well, px. And because when we change the font size to 20, it needs to be able to fit within our buttons. Also, in order to, if we go through the line of the code, here is obviously the size of our button. Here, where we're saying white space normal, what happens here is that this is wrapping the text within the button. What we've done, we've added a font family, so you can select your font family, the style of font you want on your button here, and place it here. So I've said font family, and the style I'm using is Century Gothic. I'm saying that within the button I'm going to use, the text is going to be white. You can choose any color text you want. Also, the font size is going to be 20, and the background color of the button is going to be blue. So in order, when you're defining the attributes for, or the characteristics of the buttons, you also remember to use semicolons. So I'm saying white space normal. So this will make sure, as I said, the text will wrap the text box. The text within the text within the text box will be wrapped. The font family, I'm saying the font family or the style of font I want. I've put a colon here, and I've said I want it to be Century Gothic. So you need to terminate each line with a semicolon. Okay, so you have a divider, which is the colon, that you specify the style that you're using, and the definition of your style ends with the semicolon. Okay, so let's save this and have a look at how our button now looks like. So we go File, all we need to do is save, go and locate our button. Okay, so right click again, open with, I'm going to say Microsoft Edge, Okay, so at the moment, this is how our button looks like. It's actually not aligned. So we've got obviously our blue background, our white text writing. So if I click on it, obviously it's going to display and alert the text box. However, it's not aligned correctly. So what we could do now is actually create a table in which to display our buttons. This will ensure that the information that's going to go on our web page will be correctly aligned. So let's go and do that. So let's open up our web page again. So if we right click, open with Notepad. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a table to display our button. So first of all, we will center our buttons. So this is American way of spelling center. Then we're going to create a table in which to hold our buttons to be displayed. So we use the HTML tag table. So we have an opening tag, and always remember with an opening tag you need an end tag. So at the bottom here we need to put table to end our tags for table. With center you don't need to have an end tag for center, just one word. Okay, so within here we're now going to add our definitions, our rows for the table. So the first row we can have, so TR. Okay, we're going to put it, we'll have the first row, will have the three mechanisms, the description for the mechanism. So within your tags, within your import buttons, you need to put these tags. So you're going to have these ones here. It's going to be TD, an opening tag here. This tells the computer what row and column it's going to go on. So this will be the first row, first column. Okay, you need to have an end tag for that TD. Okay, and you need to do the same thing for all the other ones that you want. So this is our first row. Okay, so we also need to put our TD here. But this is an end tag, so you take away the /. Okay, so this will be our first row. Okay, so we're going to end that with /tr, and then our second row is going to be our material. So we have an opening tag here. Okay, then we're going to obviously have our end tag for this row. So our second row will have all the definitions for our materials. So I'm just going to copy this here, Control V. Okay, so this is our second row. And remember what we have here, we have, these are our ending tags, so we have to have a / with our ending tags. Okay, so what you could do is ensure that everything is aligned. So what we've done here, we've said we want our button to be in the center, we want it within a table, and we've created some rows. So our first row is going to have all the definitions for mechanisms. Our second row will have the definitions for materials. So once everything's aligned, what we could do is save our work. So just ensure everything's aligned. Save it. So we go File, we go Save, and then we can go and locate our document. Okay, so we right click, open with, and you can see that all your buttons now are displayed within a table very neatly. So we can click on our buttons. However, we probably may not want to center that because it's actually has been overwritten. So we'll get rid of that in the center. Okay, so we'll take out the center and just leave it, so it will just be left justified, or you can right justify it. So we'll go File again, Save, we go and locate our document, double click. Okay, so we've got here. So therefore, if we click on it now, when the alert button does appear, it doesn't actually overwrite our table. or hide behind, or hide our table behind it. So we've got leavage there. We can, sorry, levers and linkages. Okay. Cams, and that's for you to fill out, and obviously fiberglass, that's for you to fill out. If you're unsure of anything that you are doing, what you can do is just re-watch the video again. Just keep going to stages of the videos to the places where you're stuck at, and then you should be able to rectify any errors that might come up. If you're unsure, don't hesitate to email me or any of your other teachers. Thank you.